Are we here?
Hello.
Hi. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to a very special spin-off podcast off of the Two Gay Mats.
It's kind of like we're the girls' trip of Two Gay Mats.
Oh my God!
We very much are.
Ex-wives club of Two Gay Mats.
Yes!
I was fired from Two Gay Mats.
Hey, it's true. But you
I was the third gay mat, and they fired
And I'm
me.
anti-vax.
You guys both had a great couple of seasons. We loved having you on.
Thank
it's
you.
true.
When
Yes.
you get that call, though, it's shattering.
I know, it's a sting.
It's a pause.
It's just, we're all on pause. If you don't know Janie Stolar, Watch What Happens Live alum, College Humor alum, Two Gay Mats, I think they're more fans of you than they are of us at this
That
point.
is not
People
true.
love
I feel like I represent the fans. I always I'm so excited when I get to cross over and just show you guys how fun it is on the inside. So
Well, welcome. You're going to be co-hosting this Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip recap that we don't have a title for yet.
Oh. Maybe by the end we will.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's pray we really dig our heels into some joke to make that the title.
I could foresee that. And we also have Glenn Boozan, first time on the pod, on the channel, author of Their Mom's Way Worse Than You, writer for Conan O'Brien, now writing on an ABC sitcom, which we love.
Home economics.
Home Economics.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
We're so happy to have you.
I'm like a little bit fanning out. Too. I'm like, this is gonna be good.
I just love that this all happened via text while I was out of town. I was like, guys, do we watch this? Do we talk about it? Or do we just pod about it? And everybody was in. I can't believe.
There's no reason to do anything unless you're going to make a podcast.
I know.
So I think it sort of
Right.
answered itself.
I feel like we don't make enough content, the three of us. I feel like now's finally the time that we get our voices out there, you know?
It's also crazy because we three have so many opinions between the three of us, and every time you send me an opinion, it's very good, and every time I send you guys an opinion, it's very bad.
No.
That's not true.
You can't sit there and
Here's
tell me
what
that I
I'll
have good
say,
opinions, Janie.
just to get people excited, Glenn has very strong opinions.
Yes.
I know.
And they're coming, like if you knew her, which you will, she's
Yes.
so smart and funny and all these amazing
Brilliant.
things. Sometimes the opinions don't seem like they
However-
would match that. Where she's defending someone where you go, really?
Right.
Yeah, like I was defending Erica Girardi for a while.
I mean, are you still defending Jen Shaw? Because I feel like you were like, she
Yeah.
did. Oh, wild. Okay.
No, until so this season I'm not defending Erica anymore.
Okay, good.
And I don't know enough about the Jen Shaw stuff that's happening right now to defend her or not. But
got
I'm
it.
just still sort of in my old opinion, which I'm.
Fair enough.
I mean,
It's not good. It's
But-
not good.
It's feminism.
It is feminism because the
little bit.
base of it is generally like women don't do crimes.
That's my theory. That's my
Which-
thesis statement of my whole life is women don't do crime.
Which I mean, prove her wrong. Besides,
Please prove me wrong. Name one woman who's done a crime.
Ever.
I
know.
I think we're still at zero.
I think
we're
I can't
still-
count one.
Okay, so Jane.
Yeah.
Where do you start with the Housewives? This can't be 3 hours, but just like.
Where do I start with the Housewives?
I know. We're just gonna how did you get in?
Oh, season 1, episode OC.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I was there the moment it debuted.
Were you
Yeah,
there
I
at that same
remember,
time?
yeah. Mhm.
Wow.
I was like, oh, this is something I'm gonna want to watch.
Yeah.
The thing is, which is an issue for this, my big blind spot is OC.
Yeah.
I've watched the Brooks Cancer season, of course.
Of course you have. That's really the only one you need.
I mean, I watched a few after that, but then I think Peggy came on,
Well,
and
you
around
know,
Peggy, I
the
felt
two-tone car Peggy or the other Peggy?
Peggy Tanus.
the 100th housewife Peggy.
Oh, the blonde one. Well, they're all blonde, but
You know
Not
how-
blonde. Is her name not Peggy? Oh
my
Who was
God,
the
I don't
100th
even
housewife who had a bunch of cars and her
yeah,
husband?
black and white cars.
Black and white cars.
Yes, okay, yes.
That's-
Her husband owned the black and white, where half down the middle, it was the ugliest color for a car. It was half dark. It was just half black and then half blinding white, and it was like, why?
I don't
You
know.
know
Why
how
would you do this?
sometimes like someone will be like Citizen Kane's the best movie, and then you go back and you watch that movie and you think,
Yes.
is it?
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of OC season 1,
Yeah.
where like you have this historic perspective, but it's hard to remember that there was nothing
Right.
before.
Because when you watch it now, it's bad. Like, it's not good.
It's a different show.
It is very much a different show.
I appreciated it. It felt like cinema verite.
Right.
It was very
Quinoa.
Yes, the women didn't really produce. They
Right.
didn't really know. And
No one knew what they were doing.
That's right. So
I started with New York. My friend Heather
That's a good one.
got me into New York. I
Yeah.
started season 2. I was like, oh my God, that Jill and Bethany, what a duo. They'll
It's-
last the lifetime, won't they?
Especially that Jill. She's really going
Wait,
places.
I mean, if we're talking about bad opinions, and I feel like we might share it, I'm obsessed with Jill Zarin.
I like Jill Zarin too.
Do you?
I think
Okay,
that's a
good.
good opinion.
I
think it's
didn't
a good
know we
opinion.
were in a pro Jill
No,
place.
pro
Because I feel like people maybe are coming back around to her, but for a long time.
She just tweeted about abortion in a good way.
She
We're
did.
like, oh, you were at the Trump inauguration.
Jewish.
She is Jewish.
So she's pro.
But she was like, she had a Trump thing.
She was.
Yeah.
Or she
Oh, I didn't know
Instagram
that.
storied like the invite.
Yeah.
Being like, on my way.
Yeah.
I know.
Yes.
I know.
So
we-
the abortion thing was a nice
Yes. Step in the right
step
direction.
in the right direction. Yes.
Gnarly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, should we just dive into episode
Let's
1
dive in.
of Ultimate Girls Trip? So, if you don't know what this is, which I'm sure you
Why
do,
are you-
why are you
watching?
listening? Why?
The Real Housewives what are they calling it?
Ex-Wives
Club.
Ex-Wives
Right?
Club. Yes,
I think so,
It's
yeah.
Ultimate Girls Trip season 2. Fired housewives across all of the Housewives franchises are coming together at Dorinda's home in the Berkshires, very famous
Bluestone
place,
Manor.
Bluestone Manor. And we have such a great cast, I must say.
The first thing I wrote is good cast.
Okay,
I
good.
wrote dream.
I'm really blown away, and I mean, we'll get to all of them individually, but like, I'm so happy to see Phaedra again.
Oh my God, she
And
looks amazing,
She looks
too.
unbelievable.
She's
Every
gotten
wig
only
is
better.
different.
Oh.
You
And
know who
The
looks
wigger.
amazing?
Who?
Dorinda.
Dorinda does look good.
I was really
looks
blown
good.
away, and
She looks good.
I have a lot to say about plastic surgery, but I think the women who keep their noses
Yeah.
do
Ooh.
a much better age.
They look
Interesting.
natural.
Yeah, but I will say sometimes in certain rooms the light hits those women in
I
a
will
way
say
where
that.
you go, "Oh my God, they're wearing a face."
I will say that going in, I was like, oh my God, every time I see Jill Zarin on Instagram or on What
Yeah.
Happens, like, she looks so good, she looks good. She does look good. But not
Yeah.
as good
It's
as I was
interesting.
thinking.
Some of the
Yeah.
women, just off the bat, my first impression, they look like ventriloquist dummies where this doesn't move,
Right.
but
Oh
they
my
talk
God.
by the jaw going up and down.
Oh,
And it's also hard because, I mean, let's just say it. Brandy has been on a journey. And, you know, I feel like if you watch the old episodes, there's a lot of insecurity there. And, like, there's no judgment. We are very pro everyone doing what they want
Yeah.
to do. But it is a jarring switch because we haven't seen her in, what, like 9 years?
The thing I find so interesting is that the other housewives are like, Brandy is like a roller coaster, blah, blah. And the thing that strikes me about that analogy is that famously a roller coaster starts and ends in the same spot. And I think that's her problem, is that she's been on a journey, ups and downs, and she has just come back
So
to the
you're with
exact-
Taylor, being
I
like
don't
she
think
has
she's
not
grown
evolved.
at an
Wow.
iota. I don't think so.
I think it's hard because yes, she should have been let go. I feel like I do not begrudge that decision. But I will say, as much as like as a person I don't like her, she is driving a lot of the show in a way that I'm like, you're making this interesting and I
Yeah.
don't fully hate you. Like Vicky,
I
again,
agree.
maybe it's my lack of knowledge of OC. I'm just like, this woman's horrible.
No, she's
Like,
she's really bad.
Is this like
No,
a
she's
worse Vicky than we've seen?
No, it's a better Vicky. First of all, I want to say, I do think Brandy really rubs people the wrong way. Something about her being like a tall, beautiful sex pot.
Yeah.
I think that people are like not warm to her.
For sure.
Not to blame
Yeah.
everyone else, but since I see that dynamic, like from the other people too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vicky. Okay, so Vicky comes in straight up with COVID. Like she
Still with COVID.
She has it.
says she was recovered, but she's coughing. Like even before they mention it,
I know.
she seemed really sick.
Awful,
like
awful.
her energy's low.
And this is right post vaccines, right?
But
Like
she
they're
didn't
not-
get vaccinated.
No,
Of course
she's
she didn't.
anti-vax.
So she says, I forgot if it's episode 1 or 2, she says she didn't get vaccinated.
Right.
They got in a
Yes.
fight about it. But she's like, oh my
Eva's
God.
had all her boosters too. This is way into that.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
everybody's
that's
into it.
true.
Yeah, it was Yom
Ooh.
Kippur, so it's
Yeah.
fall.
Oh.
So she's like, oh man, I have to lie down. I have to take a nap. I'm taking all these pills. I don't feel, but I fully don't have COVID, and I'm fully fine, and I'm glad I didn't get vaccinated. And you're like, I think you have COVID. Still.
Also, when she says, I'm so, thank God I got it. I'm so happy I got it. What does that mean?
to get the
So rude.
immunity, and
Oh.
It's called like the natural vaccine or the organic vaccine.
Oh
I
my
wonder if they
God.
wouldn't
I
have
love
let
it.
her go on the show if she didn't have it, because I don't think they would have just let an unvaccinated person
That's
be
the
on
thing.
cast.
It's why,
I
like,
think so. Yeah.
why would they allow her? Even just having had it, I don't think is enough. I'd rather we all be vaccinated in this house for a
Yeah.
week or whatever.
Yeah.
I get why Phaedra is nervous.
Oh yeah. I would have not done it if I.
And
knew
then
it.
there's a new person. What's with Marco, the butler?
I don't know.
This feels like a thing that I don't want. No one wants to be happening. And he's
Marco
just talking a
especially.
lot. I'm like, no one wants you to do this.
I feel like it might be a through line of the Housewives Ultimate Girls Trips to have like a hot guy.
But he's
like,
he's not even hot.
The
You
thing
can't
is,
even see his face.
that's
you see
the
his
thing
eyes.
is we don't know that we're being told he is hot, and then his
I don't think
whole
he's that
face.
hot.
And he has a shirt on the whole time.
I
whole
know.
time. And he's just annoying.
And then I tried to look him up online. He's not even like using the platform. I couldn't find him.
I find it weird that Eva's not promoting this at all. Like
Not
all
at
of them
all.
were at
Not
the
at
premiere
all.
party. No Eva.
No,
I feel like
she's
she
doing
posted.
something else.
I think she's on like a BET.
I think she is too.
Real show.
Was
No,
on
Real
the red
show.
carpet
Yes.
of a BET red carpet, and I was
Yes.
like, she's promoting something
right.
else
Exactly.
that she's getting paid more for than
exactly. So I don't know. I am just excited to see everybody. All right, what happens at the beginning? We see all of
Way too much preamble.
There's a lot of
Oh my
preamble.
God.
There's a lot of like, this is Bluestone Manor, which, you know, is
Yeah.
lovely and nicer than I was thinking it would
Historic.
be.
Yeah.
Historic, true.
Can I say a big problem that I have just in general? with the
Yes.
show
Let's hear
and the
it.
Editing. Too many chyrons. I don't care what time of day it is, and it's like 11:15, and I'm like, unless the timing is because somebody said something mean about somebody, and then in front of someone earlier, blah blah. I don't care if
Right.
it's lunchtime. I don't care if it's dinner time. Edit it
Right.
in a way that makes me feel I am experiencing it as it went.
That is so
Oh.
interesting.
I don't give a shit.
Because my approach
It's
is that I will
1:15.
always, and I did this today, try to zoom in on the clocks in the background. And like,
Oh my god, that's so smart.
That
I'm
is
always
brilliant.
figuring out where we are in time, and that for me is part of the joy of these shows.
Interesting.
So you prefer to just believe it's a story. Don't tell me the time, and I
Oh,
prefer
yeah,
to
I don't
find
care.
the
Oh.
time, and that's what makes us all
Wow.
so smart.
I think I just want. I think the
Where
Chirons.
are you on finding the time?
The time. I have no real feelings about the time. I apologize.
the
I'm
temporal
more.
record of ex-wives club.
I'm more upset that like when the Chiron's trying to be too cute. It's like when Vanderpump Rules.
The Jill QVC thing.
Yes, like the Jill VC.
I don't
It's like
Atlanta's doing a lot of that.
they
this
do
season.
that
I'm
a
like,
lot,
I don't
and
like
it's just
that.
like,
It's
okay,
just
let them
annoying.
be the funny
Exactly.
people.
They're-
Let them be what they're gonna be, because we'll enjoy it. You don't have to tell us like
Yes.
now's the time to laugh.
Got it.
So that's
Thank
bothersome
you. I
to
get
me.
that. I
That's
get that.
my opinion as well.
I didn't love that Jill wasn't there day one.
Yeah,
I will say
It was Yom Kippur, but also they clearly wanted the surprise.
they wanted
it
the
was just-
surprise.
She came
It
with a
was
shirt
weird.
that said surprise.
Oh, yeah, she has the merch
Yeah.
ready. She and Allie got it all together. And I did love the fact that they were so excited to recreate that moment that everyone has seen, everyone knows. No one
no one
cares.
I
knows.
didn't remember it, and I've watched every episode of every franchise. It's
Phaedra said, "Where do I know this woman
Oh.
from?"
The best. I love that it's so clear which of the housewives like study the show and
Yeah.
are
Like,
dying.
he was like
to
a
be-
fan.
I
And like,
know.
And then Vicky's like, who?
Phaedra's like, I don't know who that
I
is.
know. Brandy watched
Yeah.
everything.
Yes.
Brandy
Yeah,
was
Brandy
very
watched
up on
everything,
it.
yeah.
And I wonder if like the people who watch every episode are the ones that are most dying to be back on their show.
I think, okay, that is the other thing is I didn't realize that they would all admit so readily, like, I got fired and it was the worst thing that ever happened to me. Because I'm
Yes.
like, I would never tell anybody
I
that.
know.
If I got fired, I'd be like, I quit.
And
like,
that's what they all do as they're leaving. And it's just wild
Oh my
that they're
God.
not
and
sticking with that.
It's also crazy because to just get a call like you're fired and not like after 12 years
I
or whatever
know,
is
Tamra.
really nuts.
I know.
And I'm also reeling from Vicky's breakup the day before the
The day
trip.
before.
It's crazy.
What?
Crazy.
She was with that man forever. That
And
crazy
6 years engaged.
man.
And
If they weren't having sex, and again, no judgment on everyone's relationship, but they weren't having
13
sex for
months.
13 months.
13 months. Although Dorinda was kind of the relatable sexless queen. Like, she
Yeah.
was
I
like,
liked her.
okay.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like,
she's like,
so? yeah.
doesn't mean a thing to me.
Right.
The Tamra Brandy Twitter feud thing happens, and they get over it quickly, and it's like,
Tamara is being so boring.
I agree.
She doesn't need to be there. I'm sorry.
and I feel like she, of all of them, was the most likely to get back on her show.
Yes.
But she's not doing much. She's just kind of like babysitting
boring.
Vicky.
Vicky's
And
making her very boring
Yes.
too. I hate that Vicky's on this, and I thought I would love it.
I don't need Vicky. She's my
No.
least valuable player for
Same.
sure so far.
LVP.
That is LVP,
Lisa
isn't it? Huh?
Vanderpump too. Wait, wow.
Oh, wow.
Lisa Vanderpump, least valuable player.
Trying to think what else. I mean,
Okay, I did like a Tamara moment. I wrote down.
okay.
Like, Eva goes, I'm a Scorpio. And Tamara goes, I'm a Virgo. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
That was good.
I just really
I did
liked
like
it
that.
That was
because,
good.
like, not knowing about astrology is so likable.
I know. I do prefer that. So when they're all like,
Yeah.
we're all Scorpios,
Yeah,
let's all do
I
this
know.
stuff
Yeah.
together. It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, okay, sure. I love the moment when Dorinda was talking about Richard because, again, she'd assumed that everyone had watched her show. And Phaedra's like,
Oh my God,
who is
Phaedra-
Richard?
Who is Richard? I'm like, yikes.
Yikes. And like, I mean, the flashbacks are so good, but like, is it bad that when they flash back to that like balloon story, I did laugh.
Wait, which balloon
When
story?
she's talking about how like Richard visits her as a balloon and just
yeah.
float it up.
And it's just this like sort of bald red balloon where I'm like, yep,
Yeah.
Bald
This
red
is-
balloon.
this is
It's
yeah.
like, sure.
Oh, I love it.
Okay. Also, I have to be like. So my question is,
Yes.
did you have balloons in the house
She-
and then one floated into your room? Because that's not weird.
And the answer is yes.
Okay, so that's the problem,
answer
is
is
I'm
she
like-
had balloons and then one floated
Yeah,
towards
I'm
her.
like, no, that's.
And I mean,
no.
grieve how you want to grieve.
Yeah, but not like that.
But not like with a wayward balloon. I also felt like in the first few episodes, Tamara was bringing up the Denise Brandy thing a lot.
I know.
And I was like, are you really? Are you
Why?
trying to make this a storyline? Denise isn't even here. Like
They all
what?
came really loaded with stories. They
did.
really wanted. I think it's like let it organically unfold. You
Yeah.
all are going to
I
have
know.
these COVID fights, and it's going to get crazy. Like you don't have to bring all this stuff to the table.
It's true.
You're doing too much sometimes.
I will say I do like the like kind of real world style confessional room they have.
That's really fun.
I'm like, this is fun and well lit, and like we get to see how you actually feel in the moment. We don't have
Yeah.
to wait till you shoot that other stuff later.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Again, as a non-OC person, I never need to hear the words "whoop it up" again.
Well, she
Like-
says, "When are we whooping it up?" And then she proceeds to nap
out.
and
Yes.
pass out
Yes.
and
Go
say
to the
she-
hospital.
She's like, "It feels like I've been standing on my head."
What does that mean?
I don't know what
And
it
the
means.
sweet medic has to take her to get. I was like, "What is she even getting? A steroid shot? Like,
And
what
then
is
it's like,
happening?"
oh, I have a sinus infection. It's also, didn't you tell
You
us
have
you have a, yeah, A, you have COVID, and B, you told us you had a sinus infection when you walked in. So like, what are we?
Jill is the worst friend to have when you're sick because she'll come in the room and be like, "You look really bad. You look
That was
really
the
bad."
best. She's
You might
like,
not
yeah.
recover. I don't
You
know.
know, you look really
and
bad.
I just also love that Dorinda gets so mad at Jill for like talking to Vicky.
beautiful.
I think and
It's
she's just like,
beautiful.
don't engage with her.
Well,
don't
then
engage with her.
Dorinda also later got mad at Brandy for trying to protect Jill.
Yes.
They were playing the game, and Jill
Yes.
almost talked about her dad in a way that was like clearly going to lead to some. She was going to regret
Yeah.
what she said. And Brandy was like, don't say this.
Yeah.
And Dorinda's like, we've all been on reality TV. Like, why was she coming for her
I
like
think
that?
Dorinda has too much power in this setup. Being
Yeah.
at the Berkshires, like
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
has put the producer hat on and is like
She's
trying
like
to
literally
make,
producing the events of
yes,
the day.
and she's trying to make a good show, and so she's like, yeah, I want Jill to say something fucked up about her dad.
Mm-hmm.
Ratings will be through the roof. You know, it's just, it's a little weird. I thought Brandy, and the thing is, Brandy is horrible in a lot of ways, but I do agree when people are like, when Eva and Phaedra are like, people came in wanting to dislike her.
I know that's true.
Vicky
Yeah.
came in being like, I don't like this type of person.
Yeah.
She doesn't match with who I would be friends with.
Yeah.
And
she's prettier than me and younger than me, which I think
Yeah,
is
which
a-
I think is an
But he's
aspirin.
never like
She's
those women.
Oh, right.
Oh,
That's her
historically,
thing, right?
every single new woman was just like the biggest threat to her.
Hates.
Yeah.
I do think Brandy's worst moment was when she, at that first episode dinner, was like, that year when Taylor's husband committed suicide was the worst year of my life.
That's what I'm saying. That made me be like, oh, I can't root for you
That's
right
the
now.
thing. It's like, Brandy, what are you talking about? And so many people are saying, you sound insane. And she keeps going with it.
She sounds insane.
does.
And she's being told that she sounds insane and keeps going.
No. And I do love Dorinda's response, which was like, don't talk to a widow like
She's
this.
a widow.
She's a widow.
Talk to her that way. She's a widow.
If there's anyone we respect, it is the widow.
That is right. Dorinda's
right.
identity.
All right. I think that was episode 1. Is there anything else?
Okay, can I say
Yeah.
something that I don't like that I'm going to say because I
Let's-
don't like making fun of women's appearance.
Yes.
But I will say,
We're all friends here.
how many housewives are there on this trip? Like
7.
Seven?
7, I think.
Okay, so the 8th housewife to me is Eva's teeth. Because
Does
they're
she?
taking up
They're
so much
very
oxygen in the room.
white.
Wait, does she have veneers?
Yeah.
Really?
You have to, yeah. Top
No.
and bottom. Top
Not-
and bottom.
Really?
Both. And she, it's the kind where like when she talks, you see the bottom as
Yeah.
well, which is
Oh.
not supposed
And
to happen.
look, top model winner, beauty.
That's what I'm
Stunning.
saying. Wearing
Stunning.
on old photos, I was like, why did you?
Yes.
I didn't realize she did.
Matt, you can't tell me that.
Yeah.
I really didn't.
No.
I was watching.
Yeah.
Like, she looks
Oh,
great.
it was.
She
She
like-
does look great, but yes, I did notice the teeth.
You noticed them.
Oh, I couldn't stop. It
Wow.
made me. And also, she's like really likable and fun and like she's really clearly
There's a
really
lot-
happy. This
yes.
is. I think
Yeah.
she's on pot. Like,
Yeah.
Totally.
which I'm like,
Agreed.
I'd be happy too. Like, right?
Exactly.
And so she's smiling a lot more and laughing, and I'm like,
Yeah. Yep.
It is.
just.
It is too bad she was pregnant for so much of her time on Atlanta.
That's what I-
you
I
know,
know, it
like
dragged
she
her
couldn't.
down.
She couldn't be fun like she is here
That's a great
because
point.
she
I
was
love
pregnant.
Hi Eva.
I
Yeah.
do.
She's so
She's
funny
fun.
and
That's great.
fun. I wish
Right.
we saw that.
Yeah, I agree.
I also wonder, didn't the last Ultimate Girls trip, since it was on Peacock, didn't they leave the curse words in? I feel like we're getting so many beeps.
Oh, I didn't even know.
I
that.
appreciate the camel toe talk. I
Yes.
appreciate all
Lot.
the hard nipple
the
talk. I like
dispensary
that.
stuff, yeah.
The Housewives always have this weird relationship with sex where they think like anytime they bring up like something horny, it's like fun and cool. And I'm like, sometimes Phaedra will just be like, we had a really good lunch. It was a wet lunch. And you're like, what? Like,
really going.
No one was talking about sex stuff, Phaedra.
I know.
Way out of your way.
Yeah,
Part of me
weird.
blames LVP for that. Remember when she came on and she
Oh,
said
it was
that?
constantly, I blow my husband.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
like, it's his
God.
birthday, so I might.
Twice a year, baby.
And it's like, all right, that's enough. Like, but
Yeah.
people have seen it works, and so they now try to
Now
do
they
it.
try
I
to do
guess.
it.
And just how much people get naked on the Housewives too. I'm
I
like,
know.
okay, it's fine with me, but like, it's a lot of them.
It's a lot.
And we know it hasn't happened yet. We saw a flash
No.
forward of Tamra in her underwear or something.
Tamara would, yeah.
That makes
Shot.
sense.
Yeah.
That's not surprising.
All right, so episode 2, what do I have here? Vicky does the sign of the cross when someone does talk about getting naked.
God.
Dorinda defends her handmade couch that Brandy is sleeping on.
I made it myself. It's hand sewn. Da 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 da. It's a pull-out couch.
Right, it is a pull-out couch, right?
Like, no.
Right, this is another sex thing. Dorinda says something about stick slapping your face or
she went
pussies in
straight
your
to be like,
face.
I don't know. I just don't need my face slapped by a
it's like,
dick. And I'm like, that's not
no one was
sex
talking
necessarily.
about that. That's
That's what I'm saying. They're always bringing up this crazy sex stuff where I'm like,
Right.
nobody was talking about it.
There's
Not
a Phaedra
once.
quote later that I wrote down. Happy dicks to ding dongs. And I don't know what ding dongs meant. Like, I don't really know where you're going. And I loved it.
The thing is, the Phaedra of it all, okay. She's so fucking funny. In those
Hilarious.
I really
confessionals,
like her.
she
I
seems
really-
so natural. Do we just get rid of Candy and bring Phaedra back?
We can't because Phaedra's crimes are so bad.
That's the
I
thing
know,
is,
she
you
accused
forget
me
them
even
because
worse.
she's so funny, but I don't know.
And then also when she was called out for it, she was like, yeah, I lied.
That was
She
the
just
worst
was like-
reunion performance of all time, when she just sat there and was like, "Oh, now I'm the daggone villain." It's like, yes, you accused Casper of rape. Like, yes, you are.
Not like, I
yeah, I
wasn't
lied.
referring to that. I was referring to the crime she committed to cover up for Apollo. She was like complicit in the
Oh,
whole thing.
yeah.
Oh, that too.
Yeah.
So I love that you have to specify which crimes you're referring
And
to.
I guess like she's innocent. She was never proven guilty, but
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I've done the research.
Do you think that's why she got that funeral home?
Yes,
to,
it
like,
was.
bury the
well,
bodies?
because they were also taking dead people's identities. So something about it felt to me.
I didn't ever know what Apollo did.
Yeah, he was like, I'm sorry if this is wrong.
credit
As far as I remember, he was taking dead people's identities and then like committing car
Allegedly.
fraud and like then, but it was like he was using dead people's identities. That was part of it. So
That's
this was giving her a
bad. That's
point.
really bad.
I mean,
Okay.
they're dead. I don't know. It's better than live people.
Well, if you had to bring back one of these people
To their show.
to their show, who do you bring back?
I like them all in this kind of mix, to be honest.
You
They don't
kind of
need them
not-
in their old
I
shows.
mean, Brandy would spice some things up, which would be fun.
Yeah.
But also, she's kind of giving the same she's given
Yeah,
every other season.
it's not a different flavor of villain.
Jill doesn't know enough people now, and also New York is really.
I mean,
off.
I don't
care.
think that is a show anymore.
No, I don't think it
it's
is.
on.
No.
Maybe I'm sure she'll be on Roni Legacy.
Phaedra, I'd love to see Phaedra back. I want to see Fun Eva. I would bring back Eva.
I would bring back Eva. Eva feels like a safe person to
Yes.
bring back. She's coming across well,
Also,
and
her reads were so funny.
they were. I wish it didn't take her so much to get to them.
Same.
Because
I
that
wonder-
mangina comment deserved a response.
Oh my God, the mangina comment.
Like
Everyone was so scandalized. I didn't think it was that big of a deal.
It wasn't that big of a deal, but it just was like unnecessarily rude for someone that you're saying is like one of your friends on the trip.
But it was like so insane. I thought, how could you even be offended? It's just such a crazy thing to say.
It's a crazy thing. You know the housewives get crazy with their husbands, though.
I know,
I don't know.
it's
I
true.
wanted a
Oh my
little
God.
response. And Eva was like, this is her one time. I'll give her one chance to be disrespectful.
And then also,
that's it.
okay, so episode 2 is when Jill does a surprise entrance.
Yes.
What did we think of her bringing Gary?
I thought.
Or is that his name?
Yes, that's
Yeah,
his
okay,
name.
okay,
I
okay.
thought it was like same script, different cast. Like she
Yeah.
has a different dog.
Oh,
she has a
yes.
different husband.
see the
they did not need to be there.
They didn't need to be
Yes.
there.
To the Bobby.
She thought people were gonna get like
Oh.
so excited, like at Comic-Con when like they like Harrison Ford comes out and he's like, "I shot first," and then
Exactly.
oh my God, or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what she was waiting.
She was like, "People are gonna applaud.
Yeah.
They're gonna freak out.
They're gonna
and
die.
Instead, it's Phaedra going, "Who is?"
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That's why I think he was there. But I don't know. That whole moment was very strange, and I don't know if it was like the producers setting her up to look like an idiot, or if she was like, "I have this great plan, you're gonna love it," and they're like, "Yeah, do that."
It's also very funny that like she walks in, and then her boyfriend's just like there for a while, and they're like, who's this guy? And she's like, oh, yeah, this is Gary. We've been dating for, I don't know, 3 years ago, whatever. I don't really
introduced him as
Look at my
Gary
shirt.
Brody. Yeah, look at my shirt.
at my
Look at my
shirt.
My
shirt.
shirt, and she's like tongue kissing her dog and then going, okay, bye to the boyfriend. I'm like,
And Phaedra goes, who is this? Yeah, that was really great.
Yeah.
I
That
will
was really
say,
great.
I think it was the second episode dinner when Brandy was like, the game I want to play is we should all discuss like why we got fired. I'm like,
I wanted that so
is
bad.
what I want. And of course, Phaedra was like, oh, I don't like games like this. It's like, I'm sure you don't.
Yeah,
I'm
of course.
positive you don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
But that's all I want to hear about.
I know.
Amazing. Yeah.
Wait, a thing that I thought was that I don't think drunk Dorinda is that different from sober Dorinda. The space in between, I think people are like, oh, she's drunk, she's an alcoholic. And I'm like, have you heard her talk sober? It's kind of the same,
it's
just a little
similar.
more articulate.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that different.
Do you think she's just like a mean lady? Like, I don't know what
I don't
it
know.
is. Like,
She's
I like her.
passionate.
She's passionate for sure.
She gets mean, though.
She gets mean. Like, for some reason,
You're
whenever
right.
I think too hard about Dorinda, I always go back to what she said to Tinsley. That last
Which
season,
one? What
last
she said so
season,
many
she
horrible
got
things.
so mad about Tinsley hiding her relationship with the Coupon King, and then she was talking about getting pregnant or something, and Dorinda was like, "Well, good luck with like that turkey baster or whatever." Blah blah
Oh,
blah.
God, that's
and that
so
to
bad.
me is like one of the most evil things
Yes,
I've heard
I
a
remember
person
that.
say, and I'm like, the fact that you're capable of that, and
That's
she
so
also never
rude.
fully apologized about that. Like that reunion performance was not as apologetic as I would have liked. So a lot of people are like, "Oh, they never should have fired Dorinda." I wasn't. I was.
No.
But
I'm okay
ultimately,
with
she hurts herself. She literally
Yes.
stabbed her own hand.
That's
like,
true.
I don't.
Yeah.
I feel like Dorinda's. She attacks herself more than she attacks other people.
Interesting.
Also, Tinsley was never going to make it. Tinsley doesn't have the spine.
I wound up loving Tinsley.
I like Tinsley, but she's not. She's the Crystal of New York. She's not.
Don't say that.
I'm sorry. You think
would
Crystal is?
not.
You think Crystal is brave and stands up for herself?
No, but I feel like Tinsley does a little better. At least that last reunion, she came in guns blazing. Maybe because
I
she
don't
knew the
know.
audience was on her side. By the end of it, I was like, why am I rooting for Tinsley? I
think
was
Tinsley
very
is
into Tinsley.
sort of slapping away. I don't think. No,
I mean, aren't you an Alex McCord fan? I don't know.
course.
I don't understand. You
I
don't-
love Alex Howard. She's maybe my favorite ever housewife because my number one quality in Housewives that I love is
Yes.
delusion.
Well,
and she is
She did have that.
In spades, yeah,
She
for
did
sure.
have that.
For sure.
her
It's
and
true.
Simon.
For sure.
I think it's weird that Taylor is kind of pretending like she was on Housewives of Orange County or like aligning with Vicky and
Yeah,
Cameron.
now
It's like,
she's
wait,
in that
keep
crew.
forgetting.
it's like you keep being in this group that like you were not on the show.
No,
like
she
you
was
guys
not.
have Instagram messaged maybe. I think
So
that's strange.
funny.
But I did love legitimately like when Taylor and Eva were talking about
That
like,
was really nice.
their abuse history
That
and
was
like
a
the
really
fact that they
nice
were both raising little girls by these
Yeah.
men. And it's just like this is a very surprising duo, but like I think the most
I liked
heartfelt
it.
moment
Yeah.
so far.
I thought
100%.
so, too.
From an unexpected place.
I will say another
Yeah.
mean thing about a woman's appearance.
Let's hear it.
The brown lipstick that Taylor was wearing.
I didn't. I noticed. Speaking of dead people, am I right?
Okay, so one time when the gray, like sort of matte Jeffree Star lip stuff was very popular,
Yeah.
I tried it on and I like wore it to like a family event or whatever. My brother was like, "It looks like somebody just dragged you out of a river." I was
my
like,
God.
"You know what?
Wow.
You're correct.
I know
my
that's harsh
God.
feedback.
You
But
can't have dirt colored lipstick.
Oh my
It's a
God.
shock.
She can't. People can. She can't.
she
Wow.
can.
She doesn't have the
I'm sure
the
there are
tone
people
for it.
out there, like one of those Hadid
course.
daughters.
The
Probably
Hadid
looks
daughters,
great.
you know, certain just her complexion and her
Yeah.
vibe can't pull off
Was
Oh,
not.
that's too
dark
bad.
espresso
You
lipstick.
don't want to draw too much more attention to her lips.
They
Like that's
are-
her thing. Like they're there.
They're like corrugated. Her lips. They've
Right.
corrugated.
Do you think that's the reason why Lisa Rinna and Taylor were never on the same season?
The
Probably
lip,
too
the
much
lip,
lip.
Too
they
much
couldn't
lip.
fit them in the screen.
It's
No
a
way.
union issue. They
Yeah.
you can't have that much lip on set. It's
Exactly.
a danger to herself
You know,
and others.
overtime.
Another Brandy moment that they teased a lot in the trailer comes up.
Yeah.
They go to this haunted mansion. There's a female chef there. And I think she just says hi to her off camera initially. Like the chef wasn't
Yeah.
even on camera. And then just turns to Phaedra like, she's a lesbian, I know it. And it's like, oh. It's
the eyebrows.
It's the eyebrows.
That
and I
was
mean.
very funny
that
delivery.
was very funny.
How
like,
do you know?
She was so
Her
drunk
eyebrows.
and so deadpan. It's like,
I
the
don't
eyebrows.
mind that.
I didn't mind it. I was like, I think that's funny.
Yeah.
You know what you're getting with her, and you're like, yeah, that's what she would say.
Also,
That's true.
Not to belabor the point that as they did, but I'm pretty sure Tamara said "shut the fuck up" before Brandy did at that dinner.
She called Heather a cunt. Or nary we forget.
Did she really?
Remember there was a season where she
I
screamed?
might have missed that
Oh wait,
season.
no, it was her party.
And
Kelly
Kelly
Dodd
did.
called
Oh,
her a
I remember
cunt.
that.
Sorry, can I say the C word?
I mean, sure.
Or the KD word.
I know the KD word. We'll bleep
KD
that
Ah,
out.
we bleep. Oh my God, I'd forgotten about her.
Yeah. So the Brandy asking the chef if his wife was a lesbian.
That was so awkward.
I liked it.
He was like,
I'm liking Brandy.
I know. She does add
She's
a
given
spice I
something.
like.
She wants you. I want to like her. There's just sometimes where she walks into it, I'm like, Brandy, I was rooting for you. So, blah blah blah. Lesbian eyebrows. Why are they bleeping the curse word? Same questions. Brandy and Taylor quietly reconciling at the table was nice. Will it last? I assume no.
No.
That feels also on Brandy's part not genuine. I don't know why. I'm like,
I just
do
feel
you
like
love her? Do you love Taylor?
no, of course she. It also feels like she's making these big pronouncements while like very, very drunk.
So
like,
drunk.
And I think what is so like chaotic about this show is that usually a lot of the people here are like the drunk one at the table making things uncomfortable, and we have like 3 or 4 of those people sitting there.
Right,
And I'm like, I don't know who's drunker, because Taylor in that confessional where she's wearing like the faux sheepskin vest. Very drunk.
Very
and
drunk.
I'm like,
bad outfit.
they keep cutting to it. I'm like, oh my God, get her some water. My goodness.
Some water.
I don't know.
I have to call out a missed opportunity in the edit.
Oh, let's see it. Let's see it.
We had every montage we get of the injuries. There were some really big oversights with the Vicky ones. I felt we were deprived the going down the stairs under the blanket on the wheelchair.
Oh, right, remember
we got
that.
scenes of it, but not the most important iconic piece of that. We did get her falling, but we missed like 4 iconic falls from earlier seasons.
How often does she
thought there
fall?
were more.
She
There were a
falls
lot more.
all the time. It's one of her
loves
best
attention for
qualities.
falling.
Is she
Wow.
loves to fall.
Oh
Also,
my God.
Tamara has broken limbs.
Tamara naked flew into
Naked.
something and had to go to the hospital,
She
right?
jumped into
When was
a
that?
hot tub.
A long time ago?
No,
It was
a couple
OC,
seasons
so
ago.
you wouldn't have
she
known.
jumped. She jumped into a hot tub and broke her foot.
It was wild to watch,
It
too.
was
Yeah?
crazy. So
looked
I
painful.
just feel like anytime I get to revisit some of my favorite injuries,
Yeah.
it's really
Yeah.
exciting. So I was a little disappointed we didn't get like the all the grades of the injuries.
I think that's fair. Well, maybe that's not too late for them to fix that. Because you said you saw like a water bottle that was not blurred,
Oh
right?
yeah, that was interesting.
Really?
So I saw a Canada Dry logo for about 30 seconds.
Did they make a deal?
Yeah, I
They were
wonder if
you
it's an
can use
ad.
this
Okay,
now,
so
or what's
until
the-
episode 3, everyone was doing the right thing and they were covering the logo like
Right.
really vigilantly, and I hadn't seen a
God.
single logo. And then Eva was sitting on the bed, and I just wasn't even listening to her. I was just staring at that logo.
Oh my God.
I'm like, oh man, I could really use some Canada Dry.
it's
Oh my
working.
God. It's the new Game of Thrones Starbucks cup.
It really was.
Really?
Like, oh my God, what a mistake. We're all someone's getting fired.
Yeah, but then it like no
The blur guy is
everyone
getting
at
fired.
Starbucks that day. Like it's good.
I know.
Right, yeah.
I know. So
Free product placement.
They're
maybe
drinking
that.
so much soda.
Yeah, it's a lot of soda, a lot of wine, a lot of midday wine. You know.
No, but Eva's teeth can handle it now.
I have to
Oh,
go
yeah,
back.
there's no
Whatever
acid.
dark carbonated liquids she wants, her teeth can handle
I
it.
have
Do
to-
veneers stain?
I don't
I
know.
don't think so because they're
Then
not
I
like
should
bone,
get them.
right?
Yeah.
I don't know
Theirs
if you
are
need
not
them.
like porous. They don't
I don't think so.
absorb it.
They also don't. I think like real teeth or fake teeth, like when you put them under a black light. Like
Yeah.
if some people have.
Oh
Oh.
yeah,
or
that
whatever.
happened in a Bo Burnham special. He
Yes,
had the
yes,
two
yes.
teeth that were dark.
And if
'cause
you
he
go
had
into a
fake
haunted
teeth.
house and you smile, you can tell who's had caps or veneers. or
Wow,
Yeah.
because they don't.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know which way, but
The
One lights
fake
up.
ones are dark, and
Really?
the real
The
teeth
real ones light up.
are light.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wild.
yeah.
The more you know.
The more you know.
Lasagna off between Brandy and Dorinda.
I didn't need that,
I
to
don't
be
care
honest.
about
Who cares?
this. Who
I
cares?
didn't care.
That was
Wild B
really
story,
Yeah, don't
unnecessary.
need that.
she stole my tomatoes. I'm like,
What are we doing?
somebody a bitch again. I don't care. about this
Exactly.
tomato
What are we
shit.
doing?
I will say another highlight for me was Phaedra saying that she accidentally dated a Satan worshiper that she met at Target.
Okay, can I just say I don't believe that.
I
think
it.
she's lying.
I
think
believe
she's
every word.
lying.
I mean,
That's
you're
a
probably
lie.
right. She's like a known liar, but like
I think everything was true except the fact that he worshipped Satan. No, Satanists don't worship
She also
Satan.
said that people walk around with fake camel toes. Like,
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like,
she did say that.
She
I don't know.
feels like a liar. I mean, she's a known
a
liar.
liar.
Like
She's a known liar.
Why is it
Yeah.
working on me? I'm so charmed
I know
by
you
her.
really are.
You are her
I'm like,
next mark.
I am. I'm like,
You
bring
are.
her back.
Yes.
Get Faith
My
for a
God.
Next
spinoff.
thing you know, you're
Oh.
like hiding like a motorcycle in your garage.
Oh, God. That was a tough time.
That was a tough time.
She went through a lot on that show, didn't she? I guess she was a part of the problem. All right, all right.
It or cause some of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe. Blah, blah, blah. Vicky doesn't want to wear a mask inside because she's
I hate
awful.
this shit.
I
Makes me-
hate her.
What a little snowflake.
I don't want a
At
mask.
her best, did you like Vicky? Or was she always...
Did I like Vicky?
I've never liked Vicky. No.
Were you
That's a
supposed to like her?
That's a complicated
think so.
question.
Oh.
I think that's for its own spinoff.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know
that's a
if-
whole episode.
I feel there's no way to succinctly answer that question.
Because I did, before
Yeah.
the show started, I was watching some of her interviews, and I was like, I get what her appeal is. She
Yeah.
is delusional, like we mentioned, is a very big thing for
She's
the Housewives.
fascinating, very compelling. As like a real housewife, I was like always like she's the show. Like that's
Wow.
what the show's
She
about.
was the first one in, last one out, sort of vibes.
But you wouldn't
OC,
bring her back at this
OG,
point?
whatever.
That's a complicated question.
Okay, all right.
I'm
Sounds-
not
I
ready
just-
to answer that.
You're not
right
ready to...
Honestly, I don't think I like any housewife, to be frank.
okay.
I don't think that's their job.
Right.
Necessarily, because it scares me when I think about liking one of these women. My
Right.
morality won't let me fully like any of them.
Okay, that's fair.
But I like watching some of them.
Yeah.
Like this season, Sutton's my favorite housewife.
Oh.
But not because I think she's good.
Right.
But because I think what she's bringing to the show is very interesting and exciting.
I agree with that.
Well, that's what's interesting too about this show is like you can never look around the table and be like, well, that's the voice of reason.
No.
That's
Right,
the
there
one I
is none.
side
It's
with.
a
They're all
ragtag.
just taking sides and switching around.
I will say, except for one housewife who if I were to be on the Housewives, this is whose journey I would have wanted. Can you guess who it is?
I was going to guess.
Great question.
I'm going to guess, and don't take this as an insult. I don't think it is, but some people don't like this person, but I think she is normal. Kyle.
Oh, interesting. I don't take that as an insult.
Okay.
Heather Gay? She's the most normal.
Heather who? Which one?
From
Heather Gay,
SLC?
SLC. You watch SLC?
Oh, I didn't know her last name was Gay.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I just knew it was Heather. Carol Radswell.
yeah.
love
Carol.
Carol.
I think about her leopard couch all the time. It was
the
like
two baby
scratched
cats
and the two
scratching
babies
the shit out of
scratching.
it.
I was like, I want a
I'm sorry. Also,
cat scratched
to
couch.
see her go for young chef Adam was so inspiring.
It was my favorite.
Yes.
It was the best.
I every day am thinking about how Bethany was so in the wrong that fucking season. They had their friendship falling out, and how no one backed up Carol. How
insane.
Andy was in Bethany's pocket, how the audience was in Bethany's pocket, and Carol was right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, this is years ago. I'm so mad. And like, this woman will never be back on the show. She has the worst relationship with the network. But man, I liked her. I also was wondering, because apparently Monique got offered to be on this. And I'm like,
Did she?
She did. And she turned it down because she's doing like an own show or something.
She was sitting Shiva for her parents.
Did we ever get to the bottom of that?
A ceiling fan was involved. I think actually we just made that up.
I think we made
I heard
Janie
it
made
and
that up.
believed it.
Well, because
Probably from one of you.
a
Janie said it was a
bird,
joke.
quote unquote, accident.
That's
I don't know.
that's ceiling fan.
A bird can fly. There are no accidents. No.
I would put. The thing is, I think I do like several of them. I do like Monique, even though I started watching her new show.
like Monique?
I do, and I felt for her that season with
I don't
Candace.
hate her. I
don't hate
know
her.
if I'd say I like her.
Do you like any Housewives?
Do I like any housewives? I have such deep history with
I
them.
know.
I can't
It's
even
not even about liking
parse
them.
it out. Like
If you had to like live with one, like if you had to have one as a
currently or
roommate.
during an
All
earlier
time, all time.
season,
What- anyone
because
that
there's
comes to
ones
mind.
that I liked for certain reasons and then they changed, and it's
Yeah.
like it's not
Or, like hang out with. Like if you had to like
hang
be
out
friends with one.
This is such a hard question. It's such a hard question.
You
I
can
have
pick
get
one
back
of them
you.
to be your friend forever.
Carol's up there.
Carol would be it.
Carol's that.
She at least
one
is like
to be my friend.
smart.
Let me.
I
all
don't
right,
know. I have
we'll
to
come
think
back
about
near
that.
the end of the app.
Yeah, maybe
'cause I have to
we'll
think
think
as
about
well.
Thanks.
I'm picking Carol.
Um,
You can pick Carol.
we could all just pick Carol.
They're like,
I love
no.
it. I think something that's not being discussed is the fact that Dorinda and Jill actually have problems, and they're like masked. They do, because remember when Tinsley quit the show mid-season?
Yeah, yeah.
Luann tried to bring Jill back on, and
Oh.
Dorinda was not about it. And they had some sort of issue that got cut out on the show. Jill was supposed to go. I think the next thing was going to the Berkshires that weekend, and Jill was supposed to go and got like uninvited or whatever because she was just like, all you want to do is be back on the show, and like I don't want you here or like something. That was what I heard.
Oh, that's
and I feel like these little arguments about like why are you engaging with Vicky? Like, Bob, I want to get to the real shit.
Yeah,
like,
same.
Are you not pissed? And apparently it comes up because Dorinda in the preview was like, I was on a show that you're no longer on, which, bitch, you're no longer on it either.
Yeah.
Like, it's an easy comeback there. But I'd like to talk about it.
You know what I just thought? Jill, Dorinda, and Taylor. Is anyone else a widow? There are a lot of widows this season.
Whoa.
Right? So Carol was the other one, but she's
Carol
in
was
there.
the other one. I don't know if that there are.
don't think anyone
Are there
else-
other widows in the Housewives universe?
I don't think so.
That's 3 out of 4.
That's like a lot.
That's a lot.
Of people in this group of 8 women or whatever.
Nene, yes.
Nene. Oh, yeah.
That was sad.
That was sad.
She's with somebody though.
Is she?
She is, yeah.
Oh, good for
Yeah.
her. You know what? Nene's my second of who I'd be friends with.
In what era? Not now.
Anytime. I like her. I really do. Honestly, I might like
think
Nene.
mine might be Giselle.
No. From
I knew you liked Giselle. I do not like that woman. She would
I'm
find something
stunned.
about you
No,
and bring
we'd
it out.
be friends.
She's no one.
We would be friends. I
No.
have on.
Janie.
Look, I'm only gonna say it because I've seen her off camera.
Oh, that's why.
She's
Yeah.
It's true. And it's true. And the thing is, she's good at the show. I just find her very unlikable as a character.
I know. I do think she's a good mom.
I do too.
I think she's a fun mom. I like her
Little
as a
girls
mom.
are great. Very funny.
Very sweet.
Let me come back. But you know what? I'm circling Tinsley.
If you say Tinsley, I'll throw the rest of my champagne at you, Matt. I'm not.
like
Oh my
Tinsley.
god. I'll Dorinda all over. I'll fucking.
You'll be the director.
I'll be the Dorinda of this episode. I don't care. Give it to me, Bluestone Manor. I'll make it nice.
And even though I didn't care, and I said I didn't care when the lasagna was brought up, I did think Dorinda was cheating.
She was cheating.
I want to know what we're talking about.
I know you like fast forwarded through this.
Oh my
but
God.
Dorinda had
It was
people
so
in the
boring.
house making the
stealing the
lasagna.
She had 3 chefs
That's not fair.
and Marco.
I still want to see. I know you guys have turned on Marco. I think there's still a possibility he's hot and would like to see him with the
He
mask
didn't
off.
give us a lot of personality.
He didn't, but I thought him kind of jumping in when Dorinda was giving like the Housewives game intro was kind of fun.
He didn't
I
chill the
don't know.
champagne.
He didn't chill the champagne.
No,
That
it's
is
just-
that's unforgivable.
Like, what temperature is that champagne? He's like, it's warm. Okay. Fix it.
Insane.
yeah, he's not good at his
Insane.
job.
No, he's bad at his
He's
job.
bad at his job for sure. Okay, so this is where I began listening to this as a radio play, so I have no more
that's
notes.
fun.
Yeah.
Because I was watching in the car. But I know they had. Did they go to dinner before the pajama party thing?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Pajama party thing?
Where they like played the game and
I don't think they left the house.
No.
the whole day.
No.
Man.
Wait,
And then
the
they
game-
all had standard issue pajamas, so I was like, it's a little prisony that they all like
It
wear
is.
the same.
And they were white. And I don't
They're
think you
white.
should give a white outfit to anybody because it's just see-through.
It's see-through and you're gonna
You're gonna
spill on
stain,
it.
yeah.
And
Spill.
when I'm in my pajamas, I don't want to wear a bra and I don't want to have like a nipple. I mean,
That's
they
what I'm
love a
saying.
hard nipple.
They do.
but-
That came up.
that did
Whose
come
nipples
up.
were out? Phaedra's?
Phaedra's.
Yeah.
And that gray dress.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't love the pajamas. They were a little too like standard issue for me.
Yeah.
I also, sorry, I'm going back to like first episode. In the like welcome bag, the fact that Dorinda's Make It Nice book was so prominently featured, I was like, this is a little.
I mean, she has to do that, but I didn't like
Right.
it. She
And I
did
mean, she's got her best ideas from Bethany. That's what Bethany did Scary Island.
Yeah.
With those big skinny girl totes.
And just
your queen, Kelly Ben
Right.
Simone, was there.
Oh my God.
She jumps backwards. Oh. Trying to kill me with that black hair. Oh that was
my
a classic.
God.
I hate that woman, but that was great.
You know what I'm realizing?
Huh.
I think I didn't watch the last part of the 3rd episode because I'm like, the game, the pajamas. I'm
play
like,
the game.
I know the pajamas. I'm
Did
like,
you see the part where they play the game and it's like, what's the worst thing your father ever did?
no.
Oh my,
Well,
you didn't see this.
I-
Is crazy.
Oh, that's- yeah, it's
have
crazy.
made a
So it's
mistake.
like fun, like pull like questions, and one of them is, "What is the most disappointing thing your father
Yes.
ever did?" So Jill pulls that
Holy
one,
shit.
Yeah.
and Brandy goes like, "Loki." She's like,
like-
"Jill, like don't
like
answer
national
that. You
TV,
don't
like,
have
don't."
to answer
Oh
national
my
TV."
God.
And Dorinda turns to her and she was like, "What are you doing? We've all been on TV. Why are you telling her not to?" Like she
Dorinda
attacks
gets
Brandy
furious.
for saying that to Jill, and
Yeah.
Jill I think appreciated being like, "Of course I wouldn't," but just like thanks
Right.
for looking out for me. It was just a kind thing to be
Oh
like,
my God.
don't smear your dad
Exactly, on
TV.
television,
Yeah.
which is right. But Dorinda is so into
Dorinda
trying to make
really
a good
lost
show
it. Dorinda really
that she
lost
just
it.
can't take
Holy
it.
shit.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I had a dinner to go to, and then I forgot that I had paused it and forgot to come back and watch it. That's what
Well,
I'm
you
like,
have something to look forward to.
You know
A
what?
good
Now I
consumer.
really do.
You do.
Yeah.
Oh, that's. I can't believe she asked that question. That's bad.
It's
And
bad.
Vicky
Brenda.
is so in a COVID fog. Like she's at this point. I'm like,
She's
where
so
is
She has
unfun.
it.
Vicky?
Like she has it.
It's bad. Or a long COVID. Like she's not
She
well.
has long COVID. That's what that is.
Yeah.
It's just other shit that comes after COVID because you haven't
Yeah.
gotten vaccinated.
Yeah, exactly.
If only she would.
I
She would
know.
not have been experiencing this if she was vaccinated.
I know.
Seriously.
It's really bad.
Also, a woman in her 60s, get vaccinated.
I know. Insane.
I was a weird thing I thought just while watching was like, God, I'm glad Ramona's not here.
Oh, I think
She's
that every day
really
of my
not
life.
an ex-wife, but like, oh,
I hate Ramona
I hate
so
her
much.
so much. And I
She
don't
might
even
be
know.
my most hated housewife.
Maybe.
Who? Wait, did we already talk about who you would have added? Because I like.
Ooh, that's a good
Oh,
question.
who we added? Oh, to the cast.
To the
this
ex-wives cast?
I guess it's hard to think like really fast on your feet of all the
Because
people
like,
who
who's
aren't
been fired?
Housewives anymore.
I mean,
I'm always going to say Alex McCord,
I know
unfortunately.
you are. I know you are. And
With
that's
Jill there? Oh.
how are you not
Think
saying Kelly
about
Ben Simone?
Oh, Kelly, too. I would add Kelly.
I think an underrated queen, Carlton. Get some witchiness up in here.
Oh, yeah, Carlton
I feel
was
like
fun.
Carlton needed more time on our screens.
She was a one-seasoner, right? She was a one and done?
She and Joyce, same season.
Oh, Joy. Joyce?
Joyce.
Joyce. I was like,
Joyce.
Beautiful
Joyce
choice.
was gorgeous,
Yes, she
and her
was.
husband
Hair.
was a potato.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I think they're
Yeah.
not together anymore.
No.
I think they're not together
Oh,
anymore.
I didn't want that.
No, I didn't want that.
I don't want that for anybody.
Trying to think of who else, like who was I sad that got fired? It was mostly Jill. The fact that we haven't seen Jill on our screens in
know.
11 years.
It feels like a vendetta is going on. Like
There was.
people wanted her back.
I think it's been softened. I think Andy didn't like when. Remember they had that one-on-one sit down and she recorded it.
Yes,
I feel like he didn't
and-
love that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure when Bethany was back, there was like a spoken or unspoken rule, like you cannot bring this person
Well,
back.
Bethany, I remember the turning point where I was like, this is getting into a land I don't love is when I saw Bethany's name as a producer on the show. And I went,
Did that really happen?
Yeah. There was one or two seasons where like, I think she was also had like the Bethany Ever After thing. And then like, she was listed as a producer, which I'm sure was maybe like just a name credit, like credit in
But
name
it's
only.
not.
But I didn't like it because
I don't like
then
it
things
either.
started getting like very skinny girl branded. And I was like, oh. And then Bethany just started sort of looking better and better as this. And I was
Yes.
like, she's like having.
It was
creative
too much
input now.
control.
Yeah.
It was honestly, it was like LVP at
Yes.
the end of her time on Housewives.
Exactly,
but,
same thing.
But I think Bethany handled it better. And like the women didn't like gang up against Bethany like the women ganged up against.
True.
So yeah, are you hoping for anything else from the season? Anything that you haven't gotten to yet that you want to see?
No, I want to see Brandy. She's gonna kiss somebody. Like she's gonna try to go down on someone. I know that for
Yeah.
a fact. Like that's probably
Who do we
Eva.
think
She's
is gonna like walk off at some point?
Ooh,
that's
great
good. Maybe
question. I mean,
Taylor. She
Taylor?
wants to go home.
Yeah.
She's FaceTiming her
How long
husband.
are they there? 2 weeks?
A week. Like I think they're there
I
for
know.
like.
It's really not
such a
that long.
trip.
I know.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
Vicky could.
I'd
go.
love if she went home.
I would
Vicky,
love it.
I think
She's
Vicky
so
needs to rest.
boring.
Frankly, like I think for her benefit, she should
Totally.
just be like lying down.
Absolutely.
And also, but I actually do want to hear more about the breakup.
I
But
need to
I
hear
don't
more
know
about the
if-
breakup.
Like what? It doesn't even make sense. Like what she's told us so far is like he was no sex for 13 months. He was living in her Mexico house.
She knows what she's saying.
And
Like
Yeah.
she's playing like
Yeah, who knows what
who
could
knows
be?
what it is, and
she
she's
must
saying-
know.
She's
having an
telling
affair.
us what was going
Yes.
on.
I do think she has a blind spot when it comes to men. I
She
think
has a
women of that
tough time with
generation
men.
are obsessed with men as a validator, and I think she's very much.
You know she's
a
with someone
victim
else
of that.
now. with giant veneers.
Quick?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
it's been a month.
It's been a month. She needs to
my
cool
God.
it. I hope Tamara does something interesting. Because especially
you and
after
me
reading Diamonds and Rose or whatever, when the producers are like, she was the first housewife who really knew what she was like a producer, but like knew what she was
Yeah,
doing.
yeah.
And for her to be such a dead fish on this trip,
It's upsetting.
it's depressing. It's
She
like,
she was like throwing wine at people and like, what happened?
what happened? All right, guys. Well, I mean, is that all we have for this
I
first
think
app?
I think that's the first
We still don't
step.
have a name, but we'll
yeah,
think
right.
of one.
What about wait? What was it from Happy Dicks to Ding Dongs?
Um,
no.
I think that's in the running for sure.
Okay, that's like my number
That's
one.
your number one, okay.
Yeah, I
I
can't
wonder
think
if
of
we
anything.
should just be the ex-wife, like
We
two
could
gay
just
mans,
do
the ex-wives club.
Yeah,
I'm fine with
yeah.
that.
Does that work?
Wait, we should be the Two Gay Men's Ex-Wives Club, Ultimate Girls Trip, like all of them together.
I think it's too short. I think it needs to be a
Yeah.
bit longer.
On Peacock, but not. It's actually streaming where you get your
Right.
YouTube and podcast.
yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Ultimate Girls Podcast.
Well, I'm glad we solved that mystery. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening, and we'll be back soon with more Two Gay Mads. Ex-Wives Club.
Ex-Wives Club, Ultimate
And
Girls
Girls
Trip,
Trip.
podcast.
Streaming
Also on video.
Streaming on Peacock.
It just rolls off the tongue. All right, bye everybody.
Bye.